Hi, happy Christmas, everyone. Little topical hat for today. I meant to make a video yesterday, but I got sick. I have strep throat, and so I didn't really have a voice yesterday. Hence the delayed. Well, it's still Christmas, so I guess it's still appropriate for the times. Happy Christmas to everyone, and in the spirit of the year's end, almost, I thought this was a really good topic for discussion. Does having a more positive outlook actually do literally anything to make your life better? So, if we talk about positive outlook, right? So, positive outlook is beneficial in some ways and is beneficial in not so beneficial in other ways. So, that's literally the case for everything, right? So, in terms of any advice, the important thing is this. If I am a person who's always in my room and I'm never going outside, right? Then what would be kind of a good advice for me? Go outside, meet some people, try some new things, right? But if I'm the type of person who always is distracting myself with like drugs, partying, and meeting people, and I don't ever give myself time to be me, to feel what it's like to be me, then what would be a good advice for me? Stay in your room and just be with yourself for a while, right? So, just like this, no matter how good of an advice one advice is, it's not universally applicable, and it just really depends on the situation of the person, where they are at it in their life, and does it benefit from that, right? So another thing is like yeah, if you're an alcoholic, you probably don't want to drink, right? But if you're always taking life too seriously, and you're trying to kind of like you're really struggling because you're always stressed out about being going on straight edge kind of a lifestyle against your wishes, yeah, sometimes it's important for you to loosen up and have a drink to kind of like see that, hey, like it's kind of the opposite of a drinking problem, right? When you have to stress restrain yourself so much, then it's kind of the opposite problem of a drinking problem. But so the preface is this: in terms of everything, it's contextual, whether it can be beneficial to you or not. But a positive outlook is the primary topic for today. So, positive outlook. When does it help and when is it not helpful? It is not helpful, as this person says. It's just covering up how I actually felt. So, this person is kind of in a good spot because they know what they actually feel like. Many times, we the things that we feel and whether it's actually good for us, they are not necessarily in alignment. So, playing video games for like 20 hours, it's fun, right? A lot of dopamine activity, but is it good for you? Well, if you're a pro gamer, it could be. But then if you're studying for the SATs, if you're trying to, have a something, prepare for something, or do something more worthwhile and productive in your life, and but instead you're hooked to the game, then it's probably not a good thing, right? So, dopamine feels good, but not necessarily good for my life. Some things like volunteering and spending my time, spending my money for donations and things like that may not feel good for the immediate while. Exercise, you know what, never really feels that good for me. Like the bodybuilding and the going to the gym never really felt good for me. But you know what, after I do it, yoga too feels horrible when I do it. But the more I do it, the more my body loosens up, and the more body I get the benefits, right? So, feels bad, but is actually good for me. So, the thing is, not only are we confused about the feeling and the actual experience, what we tell ourselves is a lot of the times at odds with what we actually feel like, right? So, if you are kind of a people pleaser, you may say yes to things and you're amicable and you're like, oh, I'm having a good time, but then you might actually not be having a good time, right? You might be saying yes to a lot of requests. Oh, I'd be happy to, but then you might not actually be happy with the requests that you're getting, right? So just like that, it's important to note what your actual experience is. Positive outlook is not meant to mask how you actually feel. So if you are kind of lying to yourself, then of course it's not a good thing to do. In that case, what is actually more helpful than a positive outlook is, wow, I'm feeling absolutely horrible and I hate my life. Then we can at least make the next advancement is, does it have to be this way? Is this the life that I'm destined to? Or if it's not, then why am I experiencing life in this way? And what can I do to make it feel differently? Because everything has a cause and effect. What is the cause behind my unhappiness? Because you can only genuinely ask this question when you are in agreement with yourself that you are unhappy. So, with that said, that's a good experience here, right? I'm covering up. I feel like at my core, I'm an extremely deeply unhappy person. Good. So, the important thing is, hey, you know yourself. Now, the important thing is, how did I come to this? Why is it like this? And that inquiry into yourself is what's at stake. Okay, so when is it helpful to have a positive outlook? Positive outlook is one way of viewing things, right? So, for example, this um, cloth, it's for my glasses to wipe them. Is it big or small compared to my note that I'm using for studying French? They're sort of about the same size, right? But in comparison to my torso, it's small, right? But in comparison to my cell phone, it's a little bit bigger, right? So, just like this one thing can be seen in multiple different ways. And because of that, we learned that every quality of something is contextual. So, is this red? Well, compared to this, it's red, right? But when compared to another really strong hue of red, what's redder? I'm wearing this, right? What's redder, this or this? What's redder, this, or this? Everything is in contrast. You can say that they're all the same red, but then when you look at it from a color designer's perspective, they're different reds, right? So when you look at it from the contrast of this and this, it's red. And when you look at all these colors, you can agree that this is red, this is also red, this is also red. But when you look at just these three, they're not necessarily all the same red. So again, what I'm trying to say is every quality of anything is bound to a perspective. It's contextual. So, when you have a negative outlook on life, it is contextual to your perspective. It's not that the situation is actually negative. It's that you have a perspective that makes it look negative. So, I have $1,000 in my bank account. But if I was broke for the past 6 months, I would be happy to have $5,000 in my bank account, right? But if I had $1,000,000 in my bank account and I suddenly have $1,000 in my bank account, then it would suck, right? But the money is the same. It's the same $1,000, but depending on how I look at the $1,000, it's a difference. So today, I'm feeling kind of like, oh, I have strep throat and I'm crappy and I'm like, oh, why am I feeling this way? Then I'm comparing myself to when I'm healthy. Therefore, I feel bad. Today is a bad condition to be in. But suppose I narrowly escape a life or death situation with a car accident. Can't believe I'm alive. So, in that case, would I prefer to have strep throat and be alive, or do I want to be dead? Being alive sounds a lot more preferable, right? So, again, it's the same condition. I have strep throat. But depending on how I look at my life, it can be a positive experience or it can be a negative experience. So, when you have a generally negative outlook on life, it really means that your default view of yourself is always looking at something that's better, something more, and because of that, you are always looking at yourself from a lacking perspective. That means why positive outlooks help is because you are seeing that in many, many ways your life is very well off compared to other possibilities that could be a lot worse. So it's important to always note that when we always seek going up, we always find ourselves at the bottom. But when we stop to look down every once in a while to smell the roses, so to speak, we can see how far we have come in life. And it's not that bad. It's not that bad to, hey, be here today with this amount of money, with this amount of a career, with this amount of subscribers to my YouTube channel. This is a nice place to be. And that reduces the rush and the pressure of your life. And that is why positive outlooks help. But again, we are not trying to lie to ourselves about how we actually feel, right? So if I'm feeling crappy about I only have 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube, and I'm never gonna be Mr. Beast, and I'm really upset about that. But then, if I focus on the fact that there was a time I was stuck on 300 subscribers, and I had a really tough time growing up to like 400, but now I'm like easily double that, triple that. Then it's the same number, but I can see that, oh, I have been doing something good, right? And so that with the help of the positive outlook, you can see that your situation itself is not the problem. It's that you are employing a specifically negative perspective. And as you close this year, as you experience this Christmas, how are you reflecting upon this year? Was it a good year? Was it a bad year? If you find that this year was a bad year, then I would really recommend thinking about all the ways how you have improved your life this year. And hey, if you find that you haven't improved your life at all, let me know, and I'm sure we can talk about it and we can find an aspect of your life that has greatly improved. Okay, so that's the Christmas video of today. I wish you all happy holidays, and I'll see you in the next video.